Hey, it's Reese Maslen from Bilmuri, and I'm here with my friends from Guitar Center checking out the Fender American Professional Classic HotShot Telecaster. You might think that this is a normal Telecaster, but it's not. This one has a 5-way switch. It has 2 Coastline 63 Tele pickups and 1 Coastline 57 Strat pickup, which is honestly pretty sick. You might have noticed there's another guitar beside me, the Fender American Professional Classic Stratocaster HSS, which I checked out in another video, which the link is below in the description. Normally for me, and the stuff that I play with Bilmuri, I'm picking up a Strat because it gets a lot of that jangle that a Tele really can't do, typically. This Tele, having a 5-way switch with a Strat pickup in the middle, opens up a huge variety of options that normally you just can't get, which I would be way more inclined to pick this up for a Bilmuri set than I would any other Tele. Position 1 in a Tele, I feel like can do a lot of things. In a Bilmuri set, I've used Teles to play in like drop C before. When I'm using a Tele in the bridge position, I want something that like really sounds bitey and heavy. In the Bilmuri live set, we played a song called Spinning You Around, which I loved using the Tele for. I don't really remember what Tele I used, but I remember that I was trying to find one that could achieve like the bitey tone without getting too honky in like the upper mid-range. So when I pick something like this up, I'm looking for that exact thing. I'm looking to not have to do a ton of work carving out those EQ points that just like muddy up the tone, which I feel like this Tele does very well. To show you what I mean, I'm going to play out of a Mesa-style amp with a 4x12 type cab. When I would test something like this in the context of like a drop-tuned heavy guitar sound, it is because I'm trying to find something that would fit into Bilmuri. We have a wider range of sounds that we use for live guitars, which is anywhere from super clean to super distorted, drop-tuned, octave dropped. So when I'm playing a guitar like this in that context, I'm trying to find something that fits that mold. This guitar fits the mold very well. It gets that bite that I love out of Teles, has a very crisp top end, and it feels really good to chug on, especially because it has that modern C neck that just feels very easy to work around when you're doing cheeky little riffs back and forth. It definitely stacks up the stuff that I would put onto a record. Also in position 1, I like to test how it sounds with like a clean tone. Typically in a clean tone, I'm looking for something that is not too like brittle sounding, but has that Tele bite. I feel like it's a little more rare that I'm playing clean tones on position 1 in a Tele, but I still like to test it because there are applications for it. So I'm going to run a clean tone through like a matchless type amp. We'll see if it has that twanginess without sounding too harsh. Tonally, I really like how it sounds on position 1 on a clean tone, which, to be honest, I don't really go for a lot. But in this context, to me, it sounds really good. It's not brittle. It's like not harsh sounding. It has body, and it has still a bit of a bite up top that I like in that 1K range. Going up the neck, it felt really nice. It didn't feel hard to get to that position up there. Again, that's the modern C neck that I really like with this new line of guitars. Now, I'm going to test out position 2 on this Tele, which is different than a lot of other Tele's position 2s. It's really interesting to be able to play a Tele that sounds like a Stratocaster. Like, I've never seen that before. It sounds, to me, almost identical to how a Strat Position 2 would sound with like an HSS setup. It has the jangle. It does that Strat jangle, and it has clarity, and it has a nice bright top end that isn't honky in any way. It's just like, it works. It does the sound that I love so much about Strats in a Telecaster. Something that we do in Bilmuri a lot is we do dropped tune stuff with like an octave pedal on position 2 on Strats. And it has like a certain sound, and I kind of want to see if this Tele can do that. Yeah, it definitely does it. It definitely sounds just like the Strat does when I'm on this particular setup. And if you want to see how it compares, you can watch the other video with the Strat. This tone in particular can get really muddy on certain guitars. And when I was A and Bing it between the Strat and this Tele, I was looking for how does the low mids respond? Like, does it get muddy up in there? And also, how does the top end retain the bite, the crispiness of the drop tone? I was kind of worried that the Tele would sound a little duller, but it still has that clarity at the top, which is kind of hard to find when you're dropping it an entire octave and then putting a ton of distortion on it. Now I'm going to roll over to the neck position. I want to see if I can get some like cleaner Sean type tones. The neck pickup on this guitar is like really round and very like poignant, and I really like that about neck positions on the Tele. I have a really hard time finding uses for Teles, but I feel like this one can do those like clean, round neck position type tones really well. Now I'm going to test the neck position with some higher gain type tones. So I'm just going back to like the Mesa style amp. High gain tones on the neck position sound round, sound fat, and they sound aggressive. And I like that a lot. The top end is super smooth. Nothing tonally sticks out to me that bugs me. It's just like all around great pickups. This guitar is honestly a great guitar for a lot of different things, which is something that really surprises me when I picked up a Tele and it sounded like Strat. Before playing this Tele, I probably would have felt differently, but now I feel like there are contexts in which I would pick this up over the HSS Strat. I really like how bitey it sounds on the bridge pickup, and especially the way it feels to play, since you don't have like a spring system. It almost feels weightier to like chunk on it. High gain tones sound a little more aggressive to me on this Tele than it would on the HSS Strat. In certain contexts, I think I would prefer that. Not to mention the fact that it has a second position with a Strat pickup in it. It gets a little bit of a different tonal quality than the Strat does, which it still sounds very similar to the Strat, but it's like, it's different enough to where it would be good for like layering over other jangly tracks. All around, it has a lot of tonal options that I feel like you can't get from a normal Tele. It feels really good to play, really easy to play over other Teles. But yeah, I mean, I love this guitar. So if you want to learn more about the Fender American Professional Classic HotShot Telecaster, go to guitarcenter.com, call up one of the expert gear advisors, or go to your local GC and check it out.